Pakistan's Army Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir has offered US President Donald Trump a $1.2 billion deal to build and operate a deep water port in Pasni in Balochistan. And this is barely 70 odd miles, a little over 100 kilometers from China's Gwadar port and very close to India-backed Chabahar in Iran. Let me just look at the great game that's currently happening and the audacious bid by Pakistan's Army Chief Asim Munir. So this plan would allow the United States to build a civilian terminal at the Pasni port in Pakistan and access Pakistan's critical minerals. But very clearly, this will have no Pakistani oversight. The proposal came soon after Asim Munir and Pakistan's Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif in tow had that closed-door meeting with Donald Trump at the White House in September, where Pakistan pitched itself as the gateway for American trade and mining interests and giving them access even to Central Asia through a rail link. Now, there are viral images that show Munir gifting Trump a box of rare earth minerals, a move that's being mocked extensively online, even in Pakistan, that Pakistan Army Chief is like a salesman who's pawning ports and stones like on OLX. But there's a bigger game that's unfolding behind Pakistan's Pasni port pitch. On the 18th of July, Pakistan, Afghanistan and Uzbekistan signed a deal for a 760-kilometer-long trans-Afghan rail line that would link Central Asia to Pakistan. Now, this $4.8 billion project aims to cut transport costs by 40%, is likely or expected to be ready by 2027 should everything work out. With a possible US involvement, Islamabad actually hopes to revive another and receive another $2.3 billion and revive that Gwadar-Jacobabad rail line shelved in 2022 since China refuses to pay for it. I quickly want to bring in my colleague Sandeep Unnithan for more on this, because this is, one, extremely audacious. Two, is Asim Munir not playing with fire? Gwadar to China, Pasni to United States, and that dream that he's selling like that salesman that America can access Central Asia.
Absolutely, Gaurav. And you know, you have to see the mindset of dictators. When they take power in Pakistan, then everything is up for sale. You saw that in 1963 when Field Marshal Ayub just transferred 5,000 kilometers of the Shaksgam Valley to China. And you've seen various such transactional relationships that Pakistani dictators have engaged in. And the latest is, of course, Asim Munir, Field Marshal Asim Munir in 2025, where he's hawking ports, he's selling raw materials, minerals, rare earths, all of that. And the latest, of course, Gaurav, as you mentioned, is Pasni port. It's not just the port which he's offered to the United States, but it's also a rail line which he's offering for them to build so that they can speedily take out the resources, the raw materials, the minerals out of Pakistan. Now, that is a sleight of hand, really, because you have, not far from Pasni, you have Gwadar port, which is completely defunct. He got the Pakistan military got the Chinese interested in the CPAC corridor, but that corridor has failed, it's flopped. The Gwadar port is completely, defunct. So he is trying to play another game by getting the Americans in. And there's also another a second story to this, Gaurav, because Pasni, getting the Americans into Pasni is possibly going to protect the Pakistan Navy from possible annihilation by the Indian Navy. We saw that happening during Operation Sindoor when the Indian Navy was at the doorstep of Karachi and the Pakistan Navy was nowhere in sight.
Yes.
This has made Pakistan acutely aware of their very vulnerable southern flank, through which it imports something like 150,000 barrels of oil every day. It's very critical to their survival. They need the Americans there in Pasni to ensure that they can be protected in case of any military retaliation from India, Gaurav.
So, you know, they're pawning their borders, their sea borders, just so that India doesn't bomb it. Gwadar being given to China earlier and now Pasni being offered to the United States of America. I wonder who gets Ormara next, but we'll be tracking that story very closely.